YouTube. This turned out to be a controversial guitar. Someone told me it was the worst sounding guitar I've ever had. I think it sounds pure amazing. But there you go. So this is the that now I have put the Seymour Duncan pickup in. You can see there's a slight gap around the edge of it, but not bad. And I used the screw holes fitted with what's originally there, so it's easy to put it back to what it was, which is what I wanted to do. So I've sort of done a few wee things. I think the buzzing that was coming from the bridge was to do with the fact that the bridge was sitting flat on the body, whereas now you're not going to get the angle because the volume controls are in the way. But I've adjusted the neck, so now the bridge is sitting up on its spikes. So that this bridge sort of sits on two spikes that sit into sort of metal dishes, tubes. You know, like if you imagine a metal tube with a thing in the bottom, that's how now saying it rocks. Well, now it rocks, but it now, because it's sitting on its spikes like it's meant to, rather than sitting flat on the surface of the guitar, it's not rubbing against the top of the guitar. It's now sitting, you know, like so when you bend the tremolo, there's a wee bit of that it does on these sort of two metal nails that it's sitting on. That seems to have sorted that. It also seems to have sorted the strings jumping out when you do bends, because now the bridge there's a bit more of an angle here. You know, it's not much of an angle, but there's a bit more of one, which is enough to stop the strings popping out the saddles. So that was kind of the bridge sort of problem. I went into it as well. There was no earth. The bridge is not earthed in these guitars, and there was no hole for it, so I had to drill a hole from there through to here to put an earth wire in. Thinking about it after I'd already done that, I think there might have been something in these metal tubes, because I noticed it's conductive paint in the cavity, so I think there might be maybe something that had come off on the metal tube, but now it's got a proper earth wire, so it's solid and it no longer buzzes when you touch the metal plates. So that's that sorted. Yes. So I put the Seymour Duncan in. You have to put it in backwards, which I wasn't sure about, but I intentionally made it. You know, basically when you come out one of these pickups, you get your 4 wires, but you get like the start and finish and the earth. Well, I intentionally made it so it was dead easy to swap over, because if you ever put a humbucker into a single, like a Strat, but humbucker in, it's out of phase with the rest of them, so you have to change the way round. I don't know why humbuckers are out of phase with single coils, but it happens quite a lot. So I had to do that as well. Just went in and did that 2 minutes ago. It was actually sounded really good out of phase, so it's actually a phase switch probably would sound pretty good in this guitar. Yeah, so did it lose much? So here's your neck pickup as before. And then we've got our humbucker. So it has lost some of its jangle that it had with the Jaguar pickup. But when both of them on, it sounds awesome. You kind of get the power of the humbucker with the character of the Jaguar sounds. One thing I missed before as well, I'm going to do my usual and see if I can find my measuring tape, which is normally lying on the ground down here. Which, there it is, yay! Someone told me these are short scale. That's the difference between a Jaguar and a Jazzmaster. This is 24 inch, so it's a Strat would be 25.5. This is 24 inch, so that's probably something to do with its sound and its feel and the way it sounds a bit different. It doesn't feel short scale, but it is a wee bit. I think a Duosonic's 22.5. So it's like sort of middle scale. Yeah, Gibson's 24 3/4, so it's, you know, it's a wee bit shorter than a Gibson. Yeah, so here's your humbucker, and I'll use my fuzz pedal again because I thought the fuzz pedal sounded fantastic. That problem I was having before, but well, it's a fuzz pedal, so it's buzzing, but it no longer goes because I'm now earthing it with the strings. It does it obviously when you've not got the strings earthed, but now the bridge and the strings are earthed, so, and I'm using a really noisy fuzz pedal. Both pickups. That's pretty good. a slight, it kind of sounds out of phase again. Which is weird because I just swapped it over a minute ago because it sounded really out of phase. It sounds less out of phase when you've got both pickups on. I wonder if there's something crazy going on. Also, I was going to put a push-pull pot in which would coil split this, but these are 1 meg pots. And it's like, I don't know if you get 1 meg push-pull pots. You probably do, but I know I definitely don't have one because I've never seen one. Well, I definitely don't have one. So I've just ran the wire in there, so if the guy in the future wants to stick a coil split in, it's a dead easy job to do. You only have to take off this plate. Not that I think it really needs it, but it sounds pretty good. Whether they're out of phase or not, well, they're not out of phase because they sounded more out of phase. They still sounded good though. I think maybe a phase switch would actually sound pretty good to this guitar. Anyway, then you could definitely tell whether they're in or out of phase, but does give it a bit more of a sort of normal sound using the humbucker. And then again, I think the scale length on this whole bridge thing, but it's no longer buzzing. You don't have that sort of sound coming from the bridge. I think that was to do with the bridge angle. So I don't want to be too scathing about how this guitar arrived because it had been to a guitar shop to get set up when the guy bought it. So like after he took it to a shop, it's just, the people in the shop didn't know what we're doing. So that was the bridge sitting on the body was causing bad vibrations, and I wonder if that's a lot of people slag off these bridges. And it's like, oh, first thing you just change the bridge, and it's like I don't think you need to if you know what it is you're doing with it. I think maybe if it came with the neck not adjusted and it's sitting on the body, it's going to vibrate. It's when I was doing the video the other day, I was like, this is a pure crazy design. Who thought of this? It makes sense now. I understand it. I should probably have taken it to bits before I did the first video, but then I would have had it with the 2 original pickups in it. So you can compare the sound between the humbucker and the other one, and it is reversible quite easily. Normally I would be, I was thinking it'd be really cool if I got to keep the old bridge pickup, for doing the work, but I want to give it back to the guy so he can keep it in the case, just in case he decides to try and sell the guitar or whatever. It's dead easy to swap it back over. I didn't have to cut anything or route anything. It just fits in perfectly. When I say perfectly, it's like enough so you would know that if you knew enough to know that it wasn't right anyway. You obviously the wee bits with the screws sitting a bit lower, so you can see a sort of gap around it. But it looks. I think it was a result, and I hope it's done what was wanted. Maybe not use the first pedal. We'll use my usual rat pedal. It's not clicking when you bend it either. The bridge is it's not like a Strat Trem. It's basically more like a Bigsby. And I did look in below it when I took it off. It's basically all mounted onto the bottom of this bridge. And if you're going to take the bridge off, I didn't make this mistake, but you take out the outside screws, because if you take off these, I knew this was going to be the case though, so I didn't do it. If you take off these screws, then you'll all the springs and stuff will pop off the back. So and then you'll end up just with a hollow, and it'll still be bolted. So you want to take out the screws that are around the outside if you ever want to take it off, to add the earth wire like I did, and it just sorted it out. It's not holding tune because I've just put these strings back on again. The ones that are already on it. That's it. Another thing. The thing about this guitar is because of the way the switches work, you can just turn it off by accident. So the guitar's not on. But you need to have one of the on switches on for one of the pickups. No, it's not out of phase. Not quite in tune, but that's because I've had these strings off, so they've been off and I've put back on, so they'll be tightened up and moved, you know. Yep, so rock on. It's been a couple of days, I've not done a video. That's because I've been out guitar safari, so I've got a good few more that will be coming up that I'll be modifying. I've got a couple of, I don't know if I'm going to do a buckcaster. Anyway, after a buckycaster and an iron brewcaster, I'll do one. I've got two strats sitting there, an encore one and a squire one, and I'm not really sure exactly what to do with them. Whether I've got funny pickups and stuff, and it's like, so I'll decide. It's been a while since I did a bucky or an iron brew. I'm thinking of painting the encore one like sort of maybe yellow and red or yellow and purple, or sort of a line between the two, sort of half and half. I think it might look quite cool. And I got like a vintage bass, vintage is the brand, and a crazy guitar that a very nice guy gave me yesterday. Rock and roll!